AI music is absolutely exploding, right? And it's creating this huge, messy storm of ethical and legal problems. So, how do we move forward without losing the actual human soul of creativity in the process? Well, today, we're going to dig into a proposed solution called the Mirror Protocol, a framework that's designed to bring some much needed order to all this chaos. Let's jump in. The world is simply not ready for AI music. That's a pretty stark statement, isn't it? It actually comes from the protocol's creator after they spent about 16 months doing a deep dive into this technology. It's a huge warning that really gets to the heart of the issue. We are just not prepared, not legally, not morally, for what's happening right now. And that lack of readiness, it's basically plunged us straight into the wild west of AI music. The industry is booming, but there are no rules, no sheriff in town. And what happens when innovation moves way, way faster than regulation? Well, we're already starting to see the consequences. First up, you've got the lawsuits. I mean, the headlines are everywhere. Artists and rights holders are taking AI companies to court, and it's kicking off this massive legal battleground over who owns what. And what comes after lawsuits? Yep, settlements. We're talking incredibly costly settlements. Companies are facing these huge, multi-million-dollar gaps in compliance, and they're scrambling to put out fires that could literally sink their entire business. And the result of all that chaos? Just widespread panic. There's this deep, unsettling feeling of uncertainty rippling through both the creative community and the tech world. Nobody is really sure what's legal anymore, what's ethical, or what's even coming next. And here's where it gets really personal, where you see the human cost. For the actual artists, the musicians, the writers, this isn't some abstract legal debate. It is a very real, gut-wrenching fear that their entire life's work, their passion, their identity, is just being scraped up and used by a machine without any permission and without any credit. So you might be wondering, why is this happening? Why is everything so messy? Well, the answer is actually baked into the very heart of the technology itself. It all comes down to what's known as the black box dilemma. So what exactly is a black box AI? Well, think of it like this. You get served a beautiful cake, but you have no idea what ingredients went into it. That's kind of what's going on here. You get the final output, a song, an image, but you have no clue what training data was used to make it. The whole process is opaque, totally sealed shut, which makes tracing the origins of anything basically impossible.
This creates what you could call a massive provenance gap. Provenance is really just the history of ownership. With human art, you can trace the influences, you can follow the breadcrumbs, and give credit where it's due. But with black box AI, that entire history is just gone. It's erased. And when that happens, ownership becomes impossible to prove, and the original human creators just get lost in the machine.
But what if you could force that black box to open up, to show its work? That's really the core idea behind the solution we're looking at today. It's a proposal to build a whole new framework for AI creativity. It's called the Mirror Protocol, and it's not just a simple set of rules. The idea is for it to be a complete governance architecture, the kind of fundamental infrastructure that's missing right now, designed to make AI music both ethical and legally sound. The name is such a powerful metaphor, right? The core concept is to build a system that can't hide from where it came from. It's literally forced to look in the mirror and transparently show the human influences that shaped whatever it created. In a nutshell, it's all about accountability. Okay, so that all sounds pretty good in theory, but how does it actually work in practice? Well, the protocol is built on 3 foundational pillars, and each one is designed to fix a core problem of that black box. All right, let's break these 3 pillars down. It starts with true provenance. This is all about creating a permanent, verifiable record of an AI's creative origins. This is the foundation, the bedrock. Without it, you can't have the second pillar, clear attribution. This part uses that verifiable record to make sure that the original human creators are finally credited and respected for their work. And those two together lead to the ultimate goal, moral alignment. This is where you build an ethical framework right into the AI from the very beginning, ensuring it respects what the source calls creative rights by design. You see how each step builds on the last one. Now, you might hear all this and think it just sounds like another expensive compliance cost for AI companies. But what if it's the total opposite? The argument here is that this protocol could actually transform a huge liability into a really valuable asset. And we're talking real value. The potential worth of this protocol's patent is estimated conservatively at between $100,000 and $1 million. So why so high? Because it offers a tangible solution to a global problem that is already costing companies millions and millions in legal fees. This table does a great job of showing the proposed transformation. Legally, you go from a multi-million-dollar liability to a verified creative asset. In business, what feels like a compliance cost becomes a standard of trust, something that actually attracts artists and users. And maybe most importantly, for innovation, what feels like an existential risk gets reframed as a model for humanity-first progress. Ultimately, the whole goal is to build that desperately needed bridge between innovation and regulation. It's not about stopping AI's progress. It's about letting it continue, but inside an ethical framework that protects the rights and the value of human creators.
And all of this brings us to one final, huge question. In an age where machines can create art, is it possible that a piece of technology, a protocol, could be the very thing that restores our moral compass and protects the soul of human creativity? It's a powerful idea to think about.